What is the magic of selling as a woman? Because there's magic to it. What is the magic of selling premium coaching offers to premium coaching clients in your premium coaching business? What is the magic of being a woman in high ticket sales? Hello, beautiful, and welcome to High Ticket Sales for Women in the Prosperous Womb as we continue our series, Selling as a Woman. So let's talk about less is more when you're selling as a woman. When women come into the Prosperous Womb, it's because they've made a decision. They're ready to sell high-ticket coaching offers, whether it's a $2.5 million proposal they're working on, or $1 million coaching offer, or their $250K offer, or $50K offer, whatever it is, they've decided they're going to work with premium coaching clients. And that's great. But they also come with intention, Mimi, this is the year I'm going to make $15 million. I'll be making $7 million or $10 million. And this year, 2026 or 2027 or 2030, this is the year that I'm going to create my $15 million. Or this is the year that I go from 250K months to $1 million a month. It's always a number and a month or a number of years. And I back up and say, hey, let's slow down. What's the invitation here? What's the invitation to see, to look at, to feel into, to expand our nervous system about who we're supporting, what that person wants, not how that person fits into your month and number or your year and your number, but how what God is doing through you is supporting this person at her highest level in her business or her relationship or her parenting or her marriage or in her career or her leadership or her energy, whatever it is that you're coaching in. So once we've moved past the numbers and the months and really focus on God's gift, that person, that human being, that relationship, that connection, what is the less is more way for high ticket sales? Because high ticket sales is not an event. It's not some grand event. Selling is not some grand event. It's an experience in a relationship. And so I say the first place I look for people is the pricing, the positioning, the offer, the who, the whom, and the messaging. How does that support you to experience this journey that you're on smoothly, nothing missing, nothing broken? Because I prefer to work from a place of shalom. Nothing missing, nothing broken. The clients that come into the Prosperous Womb don't have to be fixed. There's nothing missing or broken in them. They know who they are and who God is in them before they come to the Prosperous Womb. So I'm not here to inspire them, motivate them, or empower them. They already are that woman. So how do you speak to your client so you attract that self-led woman who says, she sees me, oh my God, how does she even know that? Where's she been all my life? She gets me like nobody knows that about me. How does Jessica know this? How do you see her so deeply that for the first time she sees everything that God says she is and doesn't have to step on a ladder to get to the thing that she wants to get to? How do you do that? How does your messaging reflect this less is more premium situation? First, how are you pricing? Are you selling $1 million $1 offers and speaking to premium clients who want the $1 million offer? Are you selling $10,000, $100,000 offers? Are you selling $1 million offer? Are you selling for 250K offers? Like, what are you selling? And does the person want that? We'll move past that and we'll go into the messaging. Now, the reason why I look at messaging is because you have to be careful about who you're speaking to and where they are in their journey. That is important no matter what you're selling and who you're selling to, okay? Because we don't chase rich clients. We don't chase people with money. We attract and invite people who are willing to co-create at the level that they say they want. They are resourceful enough to create the money. Just because they throw cash at you doesn't mean you say yes to working with them. So one of the things I see in messaging is that we're speaking to transactions and not relationships. So one key aspect of co-creating a bespoke experience with a client is speaking to the human connection with that client and not speaking to a credit card number, not speaking to a transaction so you can get another body into your mastermind, because we don't care about how many people come in. We're speaking to one person. It's the power of one. And with premium sales, all you need, all you want is one client. Cut down your circle. Trim down your audience. Increase the investment to work with you. Less is more. What does a less is more, you get me, where have you been all my life, oh my God, she sees me deeply messaging look like? If they don't matter, you don't respond. What do I mean by this? When you're selling $1 million coaching offer, speak to the client that God is answering her prayer with that $1 million offer. Don't speak to the client who's looking for a 10K experience, and now you're trying to convince her in your messaging, you're trying to persuade her in your messaging, you're trying to get her to say yes in your messaging, you're trying to make her buy in your messaging, and you're trying to empower her, motivate her, and inspire her to see that she can do the thing. You become a cheerleader in your messaging. So look at your messaging now. You can pause the video, look at your messaging. Are you doing any of these things? Or are you speaking to the person who recognizes herself in the offer and says, where have you been all my life? I want this thing now. Because if they don't matter, don't respond. Stop trying to address your insecurities in your message because people are making you angry, because you think you have a no-brainer and they're not saying yes to it, and this should be a no-brainer offer for them, and you do this hyper-aggressive thing that men do and sound like a bro because while they're not getting it, they should be coming in here by themselves. Only when you're speaking to them, only when you see them. If they don't matter to the relationship that God has you growing on in your assignment, and if you don't matter to the journey that God has them on in their relationship or their business or their life, don't speak to them. Don't speak to them. You're wasting time and energy and resources on people who have no bearing on the journey God is taking you on in your business and the journey that God is taking them on in their lives. Let it make sense. Listen to your messaging and who you've told yourself you're working with. The same people that you've been trying to sell that offer for $5,000 to are the same people who are not buying because they're waiting for that $1 million offer. And they're thinking, why is she still talking about 5K? That was me 10 years ago. Why is she still talking about that first taste of the result when I want the baby? Why is she telling me how to balance my hormones right now? Give me the baby. Yes, they're going to need to balance their hormones and lose the unnatural weight. Yes, they're going to have to. But they want the baby. How can you speak to the baby? God is taking them to the baby. How can you speak to that journey and not the hormonal balance they have a PhD degree in already? They know everything about, they know every pain point about that. Why are you speaking to that? Less is more. The less you speak, the less number of people you speak to, the higher, not the conversion, the higher level you attract to your life and your business because you're going deeper. It's a depth game, not a transaction volume game. So less is more. It's not just, oh, I'm going to raise the price to work with me. No, it's the quality of the relationships that you're creating in high ticket sales that are based on a deep human connection, and which is based on always be connecting, always be human connecting, and not based on always be closing or how can I close. Women who focus on overcoming objections do not see the human connection because again, they don't realize, oh, I am the one creating the objections. So I see a lot of videos, I see so many videos of when the client says I can't afford it, what to say. When the client says I can't afford it or you're too expensive, what do you say? Why are you attracting the client who says they can't afford it? That is the better question. What has you attract someone who cannot afford it? And how are you showing up in your business and your messaging that supports you to attract clients who are not the ones on the journey that you're on? One prayer that I invite women in the Prosperous Womb to consider, to actually pray, because when you claim that you partner with Jesus Christ or with God, the Holy Spirit inside of you to co-create at your highest level, have you asked God to open the eyes of your understanding so you can see the places of hidden treasure? Because the hidden treasure is not cash. The hidden treasure is a thing that your client needs to hear for them to see that you're the answer to the prayer. Your hidden treasure is the words, it's the relationship, it's the energy that you bring to the conversation so the client feels, oh my gosh, I see myself, I remember who I am. So the client looks at the offer as a mirror and sees who God sees when he looks at her. So your offer becomes a lighthouse that the client uses to return home to herself. So it's not just, I need God's wisdom. We need wisdom and understanding. Because we have the wisdom and then we still lean on our own understanding to do the thing. No, we seek God's wisdom and then we seek God's understanding. So we don't use our understanding because our understanding is common sense. It's our understanding is what we use to cross the street when the lights are red. We still, God has given us common wisdom and we know I need to wait until the light turns green. But how many people do that? Well, they have wisdom and understanding. So we use God's understanding in high-ticket sales because that understanding allows us to see the hidden treasure, allows the client's eyes to be open to see the depth of the word of God in us, the lighthouse of us. So we're not out there trying to belong. So when women say to me, I'm a woman of faith, and I just feel like I don't belong. Are you sure? Are you sure you're a woman of faith? Because if you did, you know you belong, you're already valuable, you're already worthy, you're already all of the things that God says you are. So when you show up already fearfully and wonderfully made, what do you mean you don't belong? There's certain words you don't use when you partner with God because you know better. There's certain things you don't do when you partner with God. You let those go because they slow you down. When you partner with God in your messaging, when less is more, who are you talking to? The one human relationship, the power of one. That is how you dominate high-ticket sales as a woman. It's not because you know how to overcome objections or you close the most. You can close $10,000 sales, and one person can close $1 million sale. The power of one. It's not how many, it's who. And it's how you are allowing God to use you as that vessel. That is the magic of high-ticket sales. It supports you to see the hidden treasures, to understand the things that everybody else overlooks, doesn't see, to understand what everyone else in the industry can never even see or comprehend. To know what is most useful to your client, to see the content and the context. So you understand when she says the thing, what is she really saying? What is she not saying? And how's the thing that she's not saying going to sabotage her journey to get the thing that she wants? And how's the thing that she's not saying going to sabotage her when she loses the 100 pounds, when she marries the husband, when she gets the baby? How is the thing she's not saying going to sabotage her and cause anxiety and insecurity when she becomes that mother or becomes that wife? This is the power and the magic in high-ticket sales. It's less is more, focusing on the human aspect. Always be connecting, always be human connecting, not always be closing. Let me know how this lands for you in your messaging and how this will support you to sell as a woman.